I believe the fight.
It is indeed 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Alabama, Arkansas. Actually, 6:30 is the first pitch. Auburn, Florida is a 5:30 first pitch. Auburn will travel to take on third-ranked Florida. So Auburn headed to Gainesville.
Yes.
All right, I believe we are ready to take our first break of the morning. Let's get it in. Phone lines open to you, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget is available as a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit huntsvillesports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3, 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
With over 100 F-150s to choose from and available financing as low as 0%, now is the perfect time to put one in your driveway. It's Truck Month at Woody Anderson Ford. Hi, Bobby White back again, inviting you to come on in for the best selection of F-150s we've had in a while. And if you find one that you like, there is no payment for 90 days. Also during Truck Month, not only do you get 0% financing for up to 36 months, but we've also got 2.9% financing for 5 years on remaining 22 models with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends April 4th. And don't forget, we make it really easy for you to trade in and trade up on a Ford Blue Advantage Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned vehicle. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and you take it home with a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Hurry on in for Truck Month. 0% financing, no payments for 90 days, and over 100 F-150s to choose from. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
Got Tyson, Drew, DeArmond. We are here on a Friday morning, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Be a part of the program with us on a Friday morning. And we got you caught up there on Major League Baseball, Atlanta Braves, SEC Baseball, everything that is coming up this weekend on the diamond. And coming up a little later, we'll talk some spring football, Tennessee style, recruiting Tennessee because they picked up a quarterback yesterday. Another good quarterback. Alabama back on the practice field. Third straight day. The Tide worked out in pad spring practice. Nick Saban post-practice talking a little offense.
Well, I think what we did last year is what we needed to do to try to win. So I'm not being critical of what we did last year. We didn't run the ball well enough last year, but we featured the players that we had. Bryce was an outstanding player, and we wanted to have him do what he could do. But I think if we have better balance, I think it'll take a little pressure off the quarterback. So I think the offensive line has done a good job so far. I like where we're heading and what we're doing. I think the scheme that we have to run the ball is well tied together. So hopefully between that and play action passes, we can make a few more explosive plays, not just rely on dropping back all the time. I think that would be very helpful.
So kind of talking about the offense this year compared to last year. This year, Tommy Rees now the OC.
Well, I mean, and Coach Saban and I guess I'll do it on this show just like I did last night. He always lets his offensive coordinators, no matter who they have been, starting with even Major Applewhite for the first season, and then Jim McElwain for 4 years, and then Doug Nussmeier, and then you went into Lane Kiffin and and Brian Dable. He always lets them put their stamp on it, and so I do think that the formula last year, it took them a while to figure out with the group they had. They had the best quarterback in the country, in my opinion, but he got injured, and then they had to kind of reconfigure. And by the end of the season, and I've referenced this many times, the second half of the Ole Miss game, they decided to commit themselves to running the ball, and they committed themselves to the formula, which was 30 to 35 runs to help Bryce, to help the receivers get open. It's not anything. It's not the kind of spread scheme and really almost option type scheme, spread option that Franchione ran. But Franchione didn't have great talent at the wide receiver spots either in the early 2000s. But the scheme would allow guys to get open because you'd be able to run the football, you'd get man coverage, you'd play action, and it's what Coach Saban was talking about. I think this would entail more 12 personnel, maybe 2 tight ends, which is also going to help the running game. They didn't do that at the end of last year, but they still ran the ball. They ran the ball 30, 35 times, and that's why in the Sugar Bowl, even though, remember, Alabama got behind 10-0, Scott, but that's why once they scored a touchdown to make it 10-7, they started getting stops defensively. They committed themselves to running it, and they wore Kansas State down. And in the second half, you saw the vertical plays to Jermaine Burton, and at the end of the first half as well, Ja'Cory Brooks, because guys were getting open. Because even though they may not be as explosive, it allowed them to throw the ball vertically down the field. And as you know, Alabama, no matter who it is, it's Milroe or Ty Simpson. I've gone on record as saying I think it's going to be Ty, but we'll see. They don't scrimmage until a week from today. But you're going to have an inexperienced quarterback, and you're going to need to run the football. I mean, and with Milroe, his strength as a player is his legs. So you'd almost think you might go to some kind of a spread option deal, but I don't think they want to do that. But we will see.
He alluded to it. The offensive line has to be better. The offensive line over the last couple seasons hasn't been consistent for Alabama to have that really good dominant running game, though, right?
Well, I mean, it wasn't very good at the tackle, especially the right tackle spot, 2 years ago. Now, and they struggled some in the interior. Last year they were somewhat better, but I still don't think they were as consistent. Right. Now, I think the weakest link. Remember that show? You're the weakest link. Goodbye, Javian Cohen.
You're the weakest link. Goodbye.
You can go.
What show is that?
You can. It's called The Weakest Link. And
I can't remember. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, Javian Cohen to me was the weakest link. Goodbye. He can be, Mario Cristobal's problem at Miami, because he wanted like $500,000 in NIL money, and he wanted his baby mama, her law school paid for, and all this garbage. And so, and Coach Saban said, "Adios, amigo." And am I going to put that on the record? Absolutely, because these guys are paid now. So.
Goodbye.
Hit the bricks, bro. So he gone.
Let Life Wallet play for it.
Yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah. Let Life Wallet pay for it.
By the way, though, just sidetrack. And
Yep.
somebody got credentialed for the Final Four from LifeWallet.
Oh, really?
And they got to ask a question the other day during the Final Four press conference.
So did John Ruiz get to ask Nigel Pack how he's spending his $400,000?
I don't know, but all the media were commenting on the fact that it's the first time they ever heard a publication called LifeWallet. I mean, it was LifeWallet, whatever, and they were there, and
Wow.
they got credentialed to go to the Final Four.
The new world we're in, man. I'm sure Woken is there too.
And the NCAA won't let us go half the time.
Yeah.
LifeWallet can go.
Oh, LifeWallet. Well, they probably gave him a donation of like $250,000 for some sponsorship or something.
Anyway, back
Because we
to-
know the NC Double Dumbs is full of, as anybody anyway.
back to our conversation.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, though, too, is do we think we'll see a lot of tempo? Did Tommy Rees do a lot of tempo at Notre Dame? Are we going to see? Because that was last year. Everyone was like, well, when we ran tempo, it looked like we were better last year.
Well, it's because of what Coach Saban was talking about. They were dropping back and throwing a lot. Though they might go fast at times, but I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue. I don't think they're going to try to do that. That's just my opinion. Now, we haven't even seen them scrimmage.
That's the thing. We still got a lot to go
Now,
through. It's all guessing and anticipation.
When you're in 2 minutes at the end of a quarter, or especially at the end of a half, or at the end of the ball game, certainly they could go no huddle. But I don't think that's going to be a regular part of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Lane Kiffin, it was a regular part of it, but he threw the ball a lot, even though people wanted Lane to run the ball. And now Lane runs the ball a ton at Ole Miss, but he tries to go fast because he does a lot of the same things Gus Malzahn tried to do, and then he burns popcorn.
Burns pop.
I'm just referencing the game 2 years ago against Alabama. We say, get your popcorn ready, and then he burned it because they got the hell beat out of him. I told some Ole Miss jackass on Twitter that yesterday.
Why does he have to be a jackass?
Because he is. I mean, when you're commenting on things, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And I just told him, just tell Lane to stop burning the popcorn, bro.
256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the show this morning. Just getting you caught up to date on Alabama football. They scrimmaged yesterday.
No, they didn't scrimmage. They practiced.
They practiced, my bad.
Yeah.
I was saying,
They're
I
off
wanted
today.
to think about the A-Day game, which is coming up April 22nd, which will be a scrimmage.
Yeah, the next 3 weeks, starting next week when they go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're going to scrimmage on Friday, and then they're going to scrimmage on the next 2 Saturdays. So the rubber's going to meet the road the next 3 weeks for Alabama now that they're already done for the week here.
All right, so there you go. Little Alabama. Auburn, by the way, also taking care of some spring practice.
Yeah.
We did hear from both of their offensive and defensive coordinators earlier this week. If you want to check out Nick Saban, if you want to check out Auburn defensive coordinator Ron Roberts, Auburn offensive coordinator.
And those are interesting to hear from because they're completely brand new. I mean, Philip Montgomery has not been with Hugh Freeze.
No.
He has not, and neither has Ron Roberts. So both these guys are new. And, of course, I still expect Hugh Freeze to basically run this offense, okay? This is going to be Hugh Freeze's attack. But it's interesting to hear from both those guys.
This is Philip Montgomery talking about the offensive production so far for Auburn. I should say, the improvement, the progress, and everything else.
Pleased with where we're at. Now, obviously, we still have a long ways to go, but I see us making progress every day, taking steps forward every day. We got to continue to keep doing that. We control our attitude and our effort as we're going through that, and that has been really good throughout spring ball.
So there you go. Exactly what they would say. The progress has been good. The improvement's been good. I mean, that's about all they can say right now is spring football. Brandon's with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning.
Morning. So I see the news that Auburn is getting a Buc-ee's.
Yeah, they were giving some details about that yesterday.
When we were down there for the UAH game, it was being built. It was it was under construction. Yeah, coming right off the interstate. So
it's always off the interstate, man.
Yep, we saw it there, and be excited for that one now when we go down there, because now you can stop at Buc-ee's
and get you a brisket sandwich.
Yeah,
I've still got to try that sausage on a stick.
Well, I think that's going to be great. I was just there yesterday, and anytime you can put a Buc-ee's anywhere, I'm really surprised that the one y'all have. It's in Madison, right?
Athens.
Yeah.
Athens.
Yep.
Okay, so I was surprised that they went so far out of Huntsville, with it being the booming city that it is.
Well,
I figured it would have came a little closer.
It's not that far though. I mean, it's a good 25 minutes, something like that. But it's worth the trip. I mean, it's I've told Brett Beard I still don't think he's gone inside yet. But I said as soon as you do, you're going to want to buy a brisket sandwich.
Yeah, the brisket sandwich is pretty good. I'll say that.
Well, Bojangles is putting their tea in aluminum cans, and you can buy it by the 12-pack. And I went to go buy Bojangles here in Rome the other day, and there was a large Crown Victoria sitting in the dining room. And
oh Lord, that's the one where I watched the video where the car ran. How did that? What happened?
She's about 86, and kind of got the left pedal and the right pedal confused.
Oh,
that happens a lot.
Look out!
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because I heard that they were going to still have the drive-through open.
Yeah, the police had to forcibly make the owner close. He was going to try to continue to run the drive-through while the car was sitting in the middle of the building.
What's wrong with that?
But my buddy used to own all those, and he sold them to this guy, and it's crazy. And that's when I was sitting there looking. So the number one player in Alabama as far as basketball, Drew sent me that story once out of his letter of intent. So what's up with that? What's going on with that situation?
Well,
there was some off the field issues.
Yeah, off the court issues earlier
that kind of led to this, and
yeah,
I mean, no one's surprised that it is Alabama. I think what they got a couple guys different. And,
well, they got Chris Parker committed, and RJ's situation was one where he had to get his situation resolved off the floor. He, as everyone knows that followed high school basketball around here, he wasn't on the floor for over a month, and he did come back as they started getting his situation, figured out, and his as far as his off the floor situation, and he came back to play and finished his career on the court with Grissom. But I think it was, his situation at Alabama was contingent on who Alabama signed. And, of course, RJ wants to play too. And the biggest thing is when you look at what Alabama's got returning right now, they've had one guy go in the portal, Namari Burnett. He's headed to Michigan after he graduates from Alabama this summer, and he's done a great job in the classroom, great kid. But they're still talking to Javon Quinterly about coming back. They've still got Jaden Bradley. We'll see what happens with him. Certainly, they've still got Rylan Griffin. They've got a lot of guards, and they as we just said, they signed Chris Parker, a bigger guard. They've Davin Cosby already enrolled early and redshirted. He's a shooter. He's another perimeter player. So with RJ's situation in Alabama's roster and what it looks like, I think RJ and Alabama were kind of trying to take a look at seeing how this roster was going to be, constituted and what it was going to look like. And I think, basically they had a mutual parting of the ways, because he certainly is going to want to play a role as a freshman wherever he goes. And at Alabama, I didn't see him getting a lot of minutes as a freshman, because when you look at who they've got returning and who they're in the mix for, they're still talking to Denver Jones. We'll see what happens with that from FIU, formerly of Buckhorn, and some other perimeter players in the transfer portal. And so we'll see. I mean, Alabama's trying to get their roster set. Brandon Miller, shocker, declared for the NBA draft yesterday, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN.com. Nothing official came from Alabama, but he's going to go pro. And Noah Clowney very likely will too. So, Alabama's got to get the rest of their roster together, and when they do, it's going to be perimeter heavy. So I just didn't see a scenario where RJ was going to play early in his career. Now, He could have redshirted maybe and waited his turn, but they've also signed Jaquan Walton for a year. We've already talked about that this week. Scott talked about that. And with more clarity to that situation, he is going to have to graduate. I had someone on the recruiting blitz, Jordan Harper, who's talked to Wichita State folks. He has to graduate this summer, but they believe that's going to happen, and he will. Otherwise, he'd have to redshirt. But they believe he's going to graduate and then be eligible.
Hey, Brandon, we are up against a break, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks for the
Have
call.
a good weekend.
We've got to get a break in. 256-576-4977. That's the number for you to be a part of the program. Talk some NCAA basketball coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. We might get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. At the same time, I also think we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the course of the afternoon. There is going to be a better opportunity for severe weather as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. All modes of severe weather are going to be possible during that time frame. Looks like our biggest concern is going to be a damaging wind threat and a tornado threat across the Tennessee Valley. Very similar to last Friday and early Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Had one wreck reported northbound I-65 between the 341 and the 342. That's north of the 565 interchange. Had a vehicle hit the guardrail there. They did report that one with injuries. Everything else from earlier now appears to be cleared out of the way. Someone dies from heart disease every 36 seconds. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue can help you keep your heart healthy. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
The 2023 season of Atlanta Braves baseball is on, and this squad is fired up to make a run at a sixth straight division crown.
High fly, deep to left, forget about it for Austin Riley. A blast to left.
Tomorrow, it's an early season battle between division rivals as the Braves and the Nationals square off in Washington, D.C. Braves Radio goes on the air at 2:50 Eastern, 1:50 Central.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect.
Back talking ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Coming up tomorrow, we get the Final Four. Tonight, you get the women's Final Four on ESPN. So college basketball taking center stage. And John Rothstein, who does a great job of following college basketball for CBS Sports, put out yesterday saying that one big theme right now in college basketball is the NCAA and the compliance offices have made it clear that two-time transfers are going to have a very hard time earning immediate eligibility. And he says this could affect how many programs approach recruiting in the portal combat. is what he's calling it. And I lead into that by saying that Naomi Burnett, not Mari Burnett, commits to Michigan and Jawan Howard.
Yeah, who recruited him out of high school.
This will be his third stop, though. So he is headed to Ann Arbor to play for Michigan. Michigan is still waiting on some draft decisions as well. And
when his son, Jet Howard, already went pro.
Right. So the question is, though, is Burnett, will he graduate from Alabama?
I've heard that will happen.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he was on another radio program in our state and said that he already has enough credits to graduate by this summer. He just needs to finish up, but I think that's expected. And I think Namari knew the situation. Like, okay, I've got to graduate from Alabama to make a third move because I made a move. Because remember, he left like 10 games in or whatever under Chris Beard his first year at Texas Tech, and then transferred to Alabama. So he's really been at Alabama over 2 years already, and he did some work at Texas Tech. So he should be able to graduate by this summer and move on. Now, how many years eligibility he's got? Hell, I don't know because of this COVID stuff. I've stopped worrying about it, because I can't believe Javon Quinterly has another one on the table. But I mean,
I give up on who does and who
doesn't.
What
was that show years ago, The Pioneer Woman, and she was a doctor? Well, it could be like Dr. Quinterly or something. I don't know. Was it Dr. Quinn? Is that what it was called?
Dr. Quinn and the medicine.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Really has no idea what that one is.
He was he was either asleep or he was 2 years old. But I mean, I think he was 2 actually, Bailey. But I know you were very young at that more period of time. But it was Dr. Quinn Messman. It was on for a long time.
It was.
Yeah. So I guess it would be Dr. Quinterly if he comes back. But I mean, I'm just saying that with this COVID stuff, it blows your mind.
Let's see here.
Whoa, what a catch out there and right. Sorry. He didn't even look.
No, that's what
Otani's on the mound.
Yeah. So
there it is. Yeah.
This was it. It was a CBS show.
It was.
Dr. Quinn and Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. Not medicine. Jane Seymour.
Yeah, Jane Seymour.
Was Dr. Quinn.
Yes, she was.
Wow.
Yep.
That goes
I was
back.
just saying Dr. Quinterly because, he'd been there so long.
Yeah.
We joked because of Shulman, Max Shulman being Dr. Shulman,
Oh, yeah, he could. Yeah. Plays for 100 years in a Charger uniform. Anyway, so that is, wow. That brings back some memories right there. I did think of you though yesterday.
Right.
I was in a grocery store.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream. Have you had that flavor yet?
No.
I thought of
that
you.
scares me. I
did. I wonder if Drew has tried the
I'll tell you
Dr.
the nastiest
Pepper
stuff I've ever had,
and
I accidentally bought it. Okay, because I just saw. You know what I'm saying? You're in the gas station, and you're looking at a drink, and you read it right, and you think it's just Coke Zero. So you yank it. You take it up there and pay for it. Then you take a swig of it, and you think you drink gasoline or something. And you know what I'm saying? It was what it ended up being. It was Coke Zero, vanilla orange or some nasty cream stuff. Like, what in the hell is this stuff?
That's why I was wondering.
And
if you have tried.
I couldn't. I'd already drank out of it. It was too late.
Well,
I had to get it down, but it was brutal.
They make it with zero sugar.
Oh.
Strawberries and cream, zero sugar, Dr. Pepper. I've not known if I was
and
like.
You saw this where in a grocery store?
Here in town.
Oh.
But Dr. Pepper, I can give you insight on because I've actually had the strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay. So that was
actually not bad.
Is it not?
Is it not bad?
Is it zero
like
sugar?
A solid 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Not the best, but not the worst.
You're going to have to try it.
Was it in a 2-liter? What was it in?
It was in the 16-ounce. It was in the little, I don't know, whatever they call them.
The bottles.
Well, your bottle and everyone else's bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, your show prep 2-liter. It's in that. It's
yeah. I mean, I haven't brought it. I didn't bring a 2-liter today, you know. But
you're going with those, the sparkling ice waters. Those
they're
are
good. You know, West Neighbors. You know, we had them when we were staying at the house. You know, in Atlanta.
Yep. Johnny on his cells with us this morning. Good morning, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
Good morning, guys. So with Cinderella still dancing all over the Final Four, it got me thinking about spring football, and something you'll never see is Cinderella dancing on a Final Four in football.
I would agree with that.
Because pretty soon, whenever they expand the playoffs, they're going to call it the SEC Invitational. Because we're going to have 4 teams pretty much any given year. I mean, especially when you bring in Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, LSU, come on down. Alabama, Georgia, come on down. Every now and then you'll throw an Auburn in there, and then you're going to have Oklahoma, Texas, and we belong. You'll never see Dirt Neck in there probably. But, it's going to become the SEC Invitational. And if they don't like the fact that, we had 2 teams in the championship game, wait till we have 4 teams in the Final Four. The country is going to get sick and tired of what we're going to be dishing out over the next few years.
And I think that's why a lot of people are intrigued with the basketball tournament, because of the, I guess you could call it parity, that the FAUs and the San Diego States have a chance to get to the Final Four. Now, is it more likely, though, Drew, that like TCU, for instance, TCU got to the national title game this year in college football, but the realistic chance of TCU beating a Georgia is not great. Realistic chance, though, of an FAU or a San Diego State beating a UConn, does that sound more realistic?
In basketball, now, Boise State, as you remember, beat Adrian Peterson in Oklahoma years ago with Chris Peterson, but that's one game. That would be like a quarterfinal game. Then they go to the semifinals and get slapped.
Right.
At least that's my opinion.
So
you might see one upset, but you won't see
that's what I was
going to
say. We could see one.
And that's what Johnny's talking about.
Yeah.
When you get down to the nitty-gritty of the Final Four,
they're going to get their upset game. And, quite honestly, the Big Ten, Ohio State, they played Georgia better than anybody else. Michigan actually laid a third against so that's what I'm saying. Look, Cinderella can't play until the Deep South, and I'll include Florida State and Clemson in that, until those guys quit recruiting and turning out defensive linemen that are 6'8", 340 and run 4 640s, until that happens, the rest of the world is you saw what happened when TCU ran up against an SEC power, and there's Alabama would have beat the doors off of everybody in there not named Georgia last year, and yeah, they had 2 losses, and we all get that. But the reality was, had that Alabama team made the tournament, had they expanded the playoffs at that point in time, there'd have been a good possibility Alabama and Georgia would have been meeting for that title, because the athletes are in the Southeastern Conference, and like I said, Ohio State recruits to that level. But that's about the only, and I know Michigan has done their thing, but I don't see how Cinderella could ever pull off 3 wins in a row to get to the big dance in football.
All right, Johnny, thanks for the phone call. That's an interesting point, and that's a point that has been discussed a lot in the last week because of what we have seen this year in the Final Four. We'll discuss it a little bit more. Let's get a break in. We'll discuss it a little bit more when we return from break.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I don't see anything new accident-wise, so we're in pretty good shape there. Dealing with a heavy traffic load, you're bumper to bumper on those inbound routes. Watch that stopping distance. Put a little extra room in there so you got somewhere to go if something goes wrong. Snelling needs an appointment setter. It's a very stable company in Northeast Huntsville. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
New name, new players, and an even better championship experience. This April, the Korn Ferry Tour returns to the Rocket City for the 2023 Hometown Lenders Championship at the Ledges. Experience the beauty and drama of the Ledges in person as golf's rising stars chase their PGA Tour dreams. From the first man on the green to the roar of the crowd when the final putt drops. Be part of every moment of the Hometown Lenders Championship at the Ledges from April 24th through April 30th. Tickets to be a part of the action are on sale now at HTLChamp.com.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions, Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Theisen weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Back Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Brett Drinkard asking us on Facebook if you have tried the Mountain Dew Zero.
I have. I thought he was going to say. I will say this. What was it called years ago? It was Mountain Dew. Dadgummit. They had some different flavors. Like, was it Pitch Black? Yeah, I think that's what it was called.
Black, I think,
or Pitch
so.
Black. It was pitch awful. Because
it was Mountain Dew Black Label, I think, is what it was.
It was supposed to be
Mountain Dew Black.
It was supposed to be kind of grape or something.
Yeah.
I had to mix. I bought a 2-liter of that. I had to mix it with something else just to get it down. It was so bad.
Of course, you brought a 2-liter.
Oh well, I mean, they didn't have anything smart. I like grape stuff, so I'm like, this is probably going to be pretty good. And I tried to drink one glass of it, and I couldn't get it. I was like, I could barely finish it, and I was like, if I'm going to actually finish this, I'm going to have to mix it with something so I can tolerate it. But the Mountain Dew Zero is actually not bad.
Okay. 256-576-4977. Jeff from the Borough with us. Good morning, Jeff.
How you doing, guys? I just want to say, what y'all do with the extra 21 minutes yesterday that y'all have? I mean, baseball games being less time. Y'all be able to do anything with just extra 25 minutes or whatever the time less yesterday?
Yeah, Bailey got a nap in.
Yeah,
he took a nap.
That's good. Well, I'm glad y'all found time to do something. I know it's just real people to death that we got 25 less minutes of baseball, and I guess Marcus Stroman is going to be the answer to a trivia question. I love it. He was the first one to violate the pitch clock, so that's fine with me. We still won 4 today.
Hey, we're on pace to win 162 games. That's all that matters.
That's right. I don't care. We shut out the Brewers, so I don't get nothing about that.
That's right. Divisional win. First game.
There you go.
7-7. Milwaukee's been shut out 7 times on opening day, and we've been Cubs have done it 2 times in the last 4 years. So they can take it out. I don't care. And also, guys, why did they move the bases shorter of 90 feet? Do you know why they did that?
Shorter?
You know that?
I'll be honest, Jeff. I don't even know all the rules that they changed, man.
Let me tell you now. From home to first,
right?
From home to third is 3 feet shorter, 87 feet.
87 feet, really?
Instead of 90 feet. That's what they do. Rules. They moved. I don't know why they did that.
What does that have to do with time? Why the heck would you do that?
Oh, okay. So they didn't.
On the base.
They didn't move, Jeff. They didn't move them closer. I think what they're saying is they increased to improve player safety. The bases are now 18 square inches up from 15 square inches.
I know they're bigger.
The bases are bigger.
Which it moved.
I know that.
It moved
it from 87
inches.
from 90 to 87.
Yeah.
Because they have.
That's so dumb.
I don't know.
God, that's so. Man, I cannot believe that they just like guys said they ruined the game. I love. They just always clock business. I just. Like I said, 4 hours, we only have a time up there. You have 10 minutes to bat. When you get through batting, the horn goes off. You go back to the dugout. That's what's going to be here for long. We have to hurry up. Like I said, the young people have the attention span of a flea. They can't sit down and watch a ball game. They can't stand extra innings either. We got to, hurry up and get that done. So, and all that kind of stuff. But you guys are talking about the football, basketball. The football people need to be watching this. I mean, they need to be watching all this stuff and give these small schools a chance. That's the thing right there. You don't want to give them a shot, so that's what it is anyways. And the NCAA tournament is the greatest sport to beat anyway. It's been around over 80 years.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's the hardest thing to win in sports.
It's better.
In sports.
It's better. Why don't we do this? Why don't we have a 12-team playoff? Come on. If you think y'all so tough, let's play Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday the first round, Wednesday quarterfinals, Friday semifinals. Y'all ain't tough. Come on. Y'all can get on the plane to fly in 2 days. Y'all can do it like basketball does. Y'all don't need to play no once a week. Y'all think y'all so tough? Y'all like Australian rules football said, we don't need no pads. We don't need no shoulder pads. We just there you coming on the field. Y'all don't need no pads or anything. Y'all don't need no helmets. Just get out there and play. Hut 1, Hut 2. Come on, y'all football fans. Y'all think y'all so tough? Play 3 times a week. Y'all hang in there, guys.
Thanks,
Jeff. Does Jeff know what thoracic outlet syndrome is? I'm wondering that, too. Hey, by the way, Brandon just sent us a message. And I don't know what the hell this is, but he just sent me this. I've never heard of it. Maybe Bandy has because he's tried this. What was it? Strawberries and cream?
Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
He says thrashed apple Mountain Dew. I didn't know the hell that existed. Have anybody ever heard of that?
I've never heard of it. I got to check the Mountain Dew wiki because I just found out that exists. There's a whole website.
Well, I mean, the pitch black was terrible.
You can buy it. It's, 2-set new Mountain Dew thrashed apple. Yeah, you can buy it. There's 2 cans for sale on Amazon for $39.
Now, hold on a minute here. $39 for Mountain Dew. What is it? Got gold plating on the cans or something?
2-set new Mountain Dew thrashed apple 12-ounce cans. 12 count. My bad.
Oh,
12.
I thought. Okay.
12 cans for $39.
Still, that's $39 for 12 cans.
Yeah. If you want 4 sets of 12, it's $92.
Ugh.
I don't know. There's a lot of Mountain Dews that I didn't even know existed.
Okay, Chad Guathney has chimed in. Chad Guathney says Code Red is the best. Code Red's okay.
Let's go voltage up there.
I mean, they've had Code Red for a while.
Let's get to Floyd real fast. Good morning, Floyd.
What's up, Floyd?
What's up, guys? Oh, me. You really want to, if you really want to test yourself.
Oh, Lord.
A few years ago, me and my wife carried a group of kids to the World of Coke in Atlanta.
Okay.
They have a room up there where you can try Coca-Cola products from all over the world. And my God!
Back when I drank Cokes, we were there about 20 years ago, and they're all over. They're from Africa. It's all the continents and everything.
Does it taste different?
There are some nasty tasting ones in this thing, and I mean nasty.
Oh my gosh! It's terrible. It is terrible.
Yeah, they taste different. They do. They literally taste different everywhere around the world.
Yeah. It is absolutely terrible. I don't know. I know you different strokes for different folks or different tastes or whatever you want to call it. But man,
well, we just got pictures of Mountain Dew thrashed apple cases from Brandon in Rome, so I haven't ever seen it.
The next time we're in Atlanta, we're going to go over there, and I'm going to get you into that room, and I'm going to let you sample all of these Cokes.
Oh, it's wild. It is crazy. Also, never try Coca-Cola coffee.
Well, Lord. Well, now I've got something
Floyd,
else
thanks
here.
for the phone call. We are about ready to end hour number one.
Brandon, he's bought all this stuff. He's given me some Mountain Dew Voltage. I don't know what that is. Bandy may know what that is.
The best flavor is what that is.
Chad says Code Red.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to try strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. That's the one that's why we brought this up, as I want you to try Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
Raspberry, citrus flavor, and ginseng in this Voltage. This would probably part my hair, for crying out loud.
Ginseng is good for your gut.
Anything with Voltage is probably going to keep me up all night.
Oh yeah, it'll keep you awake.
Ginseng is good for your gut.
You should have drank that last night.
Probably not. Would have made it worse.
You would have stayed up though. You wouldn't have fallen asleep. You wouldn't have missed us. You missed us. You were late. It's okay.
It's all good.
It's all good. You're here now though.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NCAA men's hoops tomorrow, Final Four. FAU a 2.5-point underdog against San Diego State, plus 130 on the money line. The over-under is 131.5. FAU 33-3. They're the number 25 team in the nation. San Diego State 30-6, the number 18 team in the country. And the other Final Four matchup, number 16 Miami takes on number 10 Connecticut. The Huskies are a 5.5-point favorite. Miami at plus 210 on the money line. The over-under 149. The championship game scheduled for this Monday night. Connecticut minus 125 to win the national title. San Diego State plus 400, Miami plus 500, FAU plus 650.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There it is, hour number 2, Talking Ball underway. 256-576-4977. That is how you can be a part of the show a little bit later here in hour number 2. But not right now, because right now we got to bring in our first guest of the morning. Tennessee did pick up a football recruit yesterday, a very talented individual for the, what is it? I forget what class it is for.
2024.
Okay, so, but Tennessee busy, Josh Heupel and company, trying to keep up with some of this momentum that they have right now. It's also spring practice for the Vols.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on in Knoxville. They just wrapped up another basketball season under Rick Barnes. They had an interesting entry into the transfer portal. Conway decided to use his he's a grad transfer. He's going to graduate, but he's going to move on to Conway is going to move on to another program. But the buzz is Tennessee football, because we all know how they finished, winning the Orange Bowl, winning a Big Six bowl game, having a breakthrough year under Josh Heupel. Hendon Hooker, I'm still just like with Bryce. Both of them should have been Heisman finalists. They were not. Bryce will have his name called first or second in the NFL draft. Hendon's coming back from the ACL, unfortunately. Cost him some position, probably either first or second round. I still think he would have had a good shot at least to go in round 2. I was hearing yesterday, still maybe late second. Mel Kiper mentioned third. But they did have Pro Day yesterday, I believe, in Knoxville also. And we're going to talk about all that with our next guest, who's been a frequent one with us and does a great job as the recruiting editor for GoVols247.com. And that is Ryan Callahan. Ryan, welcome back to the show. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well.
Real good.
Yeah, I'm doing Tennessee Vol football is obviously doing real well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I just said we were just talking about speaking
Tennessee
of real
doing
well.
real well right now.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. Big day yesterday for Tennessee in recruiting, as you alluded to a minute ago. They landed 4-star quarterback Jake Merklinger, a top 100 prospect out of Savannah, Georgia, and that's a big deal for a couple reasons. Obviously, a big deal just anytime you get a highly ranked player, especially at the quarterback position, but especially big, I think, because that's on the heels of Tennessee landing 5-star quarterback Nico Iamaleava in the 2023 class. Hard to get two highly ranked quarterbacks in consecutive classes, and I think certainly that's as good a sign as any of just how healthy Tennessee's program is right now. Been a long time since they were able to land 2 quarterbacks that highly ranked in back-to-back classes. We'll see where he finishes on signing day, of course, but right now he's certainly ranked among the nation's top 10 quarterbacks wherever you look, and has a chance to finish higher than that. So big pickup there yesterday for Tennessee. Pretty good day yesterday. Tennessee's pro day felt kind of like old times. For those of us who've been around Tennessee for a long time, you hadn't seen too many really strong draft classes like that over the past 15 years, and they've got a strong group now with a handful of guys that have a chance to go in the first 3 rounds. So it should be a good draft for them this year. Was a really good turnout for their pro day. And then, spring practice underway, and it's a team that looks much deeper and much more competitive top to bottom than it was even last year when they obviously went on to have a good season. So pretty interesting times for sure at Tennessee, and definitely a lot of good news these days for the Vols on the football front in particular.
Now, what does it say about Josh Heupel and what he's doing? Merklinger, who took an unofficial visit over the weekend and then attended spring practice, commits like 3 days later. Do you read much into that? Does that say a lot about what Josh Heupel is building and just how well they're able to convince guys to come to Tennessee?
It does. I think it says a lot of things. I mean, that was Merklinger's 4th visit to Tennessee in a span of a year. So they did a good job recruiting him for a long time, offered him back in May. He was really one of the top guys they set their sights on. The only other higher-ranked quarterback Tennessee was really heavily involved with for a while was Jaden Davis, who will actually be announcing his decision today and appears to be headed to Michigan, but certainly one of the top quarterbacks in the 2024 class. So aside from Davis, they really set their sights on Merklinger pretty early, and it became pretty clear he was maybe their most realistic option among their top targets, and that's the way it turned out. So they just did a good job with him, and I think benefited from some other SEC teams already having landed their quarterbacks in this class. Georgia was involved with him in its search for a second quarterback in this class, but otherwise not a ton of heavy SEC competition, so that probably worked in their favor in this case. But I think Tennessee just did a good job selling him on its offense, the opportunity. Even though he will be coming in a year behind Nico Iamaleava, he'll be the only other scholarship quarterback on the roster next year. So there's still an opportunity for him to go in and compete for that job. They don't have depth at that position. Even right now, only 2 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster, and we'll see if they address that before the season. But definitely an opportunity for him next year. And worst-case scenario, he's probably looking at it like, hey, if I don't win the job next year, if Nico lives up to the hype, he goes and starts for my first 2 years. I wait my turn, get a chance to play in year 3. So from his perspective, looks like a good opportunity. And Tennessee, obviously, Josh Heupel's got a pretty good track record with quarterbacks to sell now, especially what he did with Hendon Hooker at Tennessee. I think certainly speaks to a lot of players who watched him last year. So I think they're going to continue to recruit pretty well at the quarterback position. So if there was a spot for them to just kind of start to stockpile elite talent, that one certainly makes sense, but still an impressive statement to be able to go out. Sometimes you have to get a 3-star the year after you go and get a 5-star like Nico at the quarterback position, because no one wants to sit behind and watch somebody else. So impressive for them to go and get somebody else who's thinking he can come in and compete next year, even though he's not a 5-star like Nico.
Yeah, and Ryan, we saw it with Mac Jones at Alabama. Sometimes you bring in a guy and develop him. If you can sell him on that vision, and maybe Merklinger is that guy. He certainly isn't a 5-star, but as you just talked about, and it is very hard to stack quarterbacks because of the how transient the sport is now with the transfer portal and guys leaving. Certainly, Alabama's had some great quarterbacks, but we all know Jalen Hurts ended up moving on. Usually, a guy moves on. I still think the loser of Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson will move on as well. So that's going to be interesting. But I'm glad you brought up that Tennessee only has 2 QBs even this year on the roster. Is this something that may be addressed in the transfer portal for depth purposes, maybe after spring practice in May?
Well, I think they're certainly going to look. Now they got down to 2 scholarship quarterbacks by Taven Jackson leaving for Indiana just after the season, so that was not an expected situation. There was some thought that he might not stick around, especially with the addition of Iam Aliava, knowing that competition was going to be harder for him now. The writing was kind of on the wall that would happen eventually. It just happened maybe a bit sooner than expected. So now they end up with 2 scholarship quarterbacks in a tough situation to sell. That's the big problem for them. How many quarterbacks out there, most of which in the transfer portal are looking for playing time? They want to go find a job in a lot of cases if they're leaving. So I think that's going to be a tough sell with Joe Milton there as the almost guaranteed starter to at least open the season as a 6-year senior. You obviously are going to have a tough time beating him out for the job. And then behind him, a 5-star quarterback that everyone kind of sees as the quarterback of the future. So Tennessee might have to get creative to find some scholarship quarterback depth. Right now, they're operating as if walk-on Gaston Moore, who followed them from UCF, so a guy they've had for a few years, but they're operating as if he will be the number 3 quarterback as of right now, seeing what they have at least in him this spring to kind of get a better feel for whether they can trust him to go into games and keep the offense on track if need be. So if they'll look around in the portal, see what all is out there, but we've seen Clemson have to get creative going and getting guys like Paul Tyson, obviously former Alabama quarterback, who are looking to go into coaching and things like that, who don't have any more thoughts of being a starting quarterback at an SEC level. That might be the type of quarterback, if there is someone like that out there, that Tennessee could try to sell on, just coming in and providing some depth at that position. There's some value in having a guy like that on your roster, even if he's not someone you expect to play. And we'll see if they can find someone like that, but they might have to get a little bit creative if they are going to add another quarterback.
He does become the 6th. Merklinger does the 6th commit for Tennessee and Josh Heupel. I know it's early. I say it's early, but there's commits coming fast and furious for that 24 cycle. Who else in this class do you like so far that is committed?
That's the impressive thing about Tennessee's class. Sometimes you see these early commitments, and again, I think a sign of where Tennessee is and sort of the momentum they have on and off the field. 5 of their 6 current commitments are 4 stars in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. That's pretty good, obviously, and 4 of them are ranked in the top 150 nationally right now. So Merklinger, the highest rated of the bunch, but some other really good players in that class. Jonathan Eccles, who's been committed to Tennessee for several months now, committed back on the 4th of July. An athlete from IMG Academy who Tennessee is recruiting to play tight end. Caleb Beasley, an in-state player who's the number 1 player from Tennessee, a cornerback out of Nashville, someone they've coveted for a long time. Marcus Gorey, another in-state cornerback that Tennessee's really high on. So some really good players, and even an in-state guy like Carson Gentle, an early commitment on the defensive line. They've made some good early pickups in this class, and J.J. Harrell, maybe the biggest surprise of the bunch, now a top 100 player out of Mississippi. So they've done a really good job, I think, with a lot of these guys. I think Harrell in particular stands out because that's an out-of-state guy. They got on campus one time and has kind of vaulted up the rankings, and his stock has continued to rise. So we'll see if they have any trouble holding on to some of those guys. Eccles, and Harrell in particular. But Tennessee's got some really good players in this class. It's not just early commitment to sort of build the foundation of the class. You used to see Tennessee take a lot of 3-stars early to kind of get things going. That's definitely not been the case with this class so far.
Well, and Ryan, what was your biggest takeaway from Pro Day? You said it was like old times. A lot of guys off of this Orange Bowl championship team got a chance to go in the top 3 rounds. It's got a circle around Jalen Hyatt, though, and his breakout. And then I know Tillman wasn't on the field as much as Tennessee wanted a year ago, but he's another guy that I could at least potentially go in the second or third round.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance Tillman at least goes in the first 3 rounds. I think he might be maybe the best value pick among those former Tennessee players headed to the draft. He had, I thought, a pretty good day yesterday at Tennessee's Pro Day. Jalen Hyatt obviously gets a lot of the attention with the Biletnikoff winner, the speed he's shown, and the numbers he put up last year. And he's certainly going to go higher than Tillman in the draft, I think. But interesting to talk with him yesterday. The good news for him, I think he's put on some healthy weight. He was up to 184 yesterday, he said, up 8 pounds already from the NFL Combine. Ran a 4.4 at the Combine on the day where he reportedly had a tight hamstring that cut his workout short there. So he thought he could have improved on that time because he's always kind of seen himself as a 4.3 guy and clearly has run 4.3s in the past, but didn't try to improve on that time. So the feedback he's gotten from NFL teams says they don't need to see him run faster than that, so they like what they've seen on film. But is he just a slot guy in the NFL? That's the big question about him. It was interesting to hear him talk about that yesterday, that some teams think he is better suited for the slot. That's a big deal in today's NFL. You can still catch a lot of balls out of the slot, but that does limit your sort of the way teams can use you if they think of you only as a slot guy. So will that hurt his value at all? We'll see, but I still think he goes probably in the top 40 picks. Darnell Wright's the one who's just skyrocketing.
Yes, I was going to say exploding, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's the one who maybe has a chance to be the top player taken from Tennessee in this class, and we've seen some praise even this week, I believe, from Louis Riddick of ESPN, talking about Tennessee, or talking about Darnell Wright maybe being one of the best long-term players in this entire draft class. I mean, that's from where he was a couple of years ago. Amazing, his trajectory and just the path he's on right now, and certainly think he's got a chance to have a really good pro career. And then Hendon Hooker obviously got a lot of attention yesterday as well. We're seeing projections all over the place from him. Even one mock draft that came out earlier this week from the former Jets GM with having him at number 5. Now, I think that's a bit high.
Oh, wow.
You do hear a little bit of talk of him sneaking into the first round. We'll see. Yeah. Obviously, it only takes one team. This quarterback draft class, once you get past the first few guys, could be kind of a crapshoot. So maybe there is one team out there that, even though he's not worked out this offseason coming off that knee injury, sees him as a really interesting option. There's been talk of the Colts maybe liking him. And there's certainly some others with their sights on him, at least as a possible option. So he'll be maybe the most fascinating guy to watch on draft day in a lot of ways. Does he fall to the third round or second round like we've kind of thought all along? Or does someone really say that he's caught their eye and just decide to take a chance on him in the first round? I don't know what to expect there, but he's got a chance to maybe go a little bit earlier than we expected a while ago.
Well, how is spring practice settling in right now for the Vols?
Well, off to a good start. There's 6 practices in. They'll have their first full scrimmage of the spring tomorrow. And it looks like a noticeably different team from last year in a couple ways. Obviously, some big names missing from last year's team, but the biggest difference we see is this is just a much deeper, healthier roster. This is a team that really didn't have a lot of competition across the board last year in spring practice. They had a really depleted secondary with a few guys coming off surgeries and things like that last year included some walk-ons working with the first-team unit last year around this time. So even though that was because of some guys sitting out who ended up playing last season, it still showed they just didn't have a lot of depth. Now they've got 19 early enrollees from their 2023 class already on campus, along with 8 transfer additions who've come in and plugged some gaps in the roster where they're likely to play immediately and certainly help quite a bit. And potentially some starters in that group, or almost definitely some starters. So it's a much different looking team led by Joe Milton. Obviously, it's his turn at quarterback, it looks like, and he's still kind of the guy that everybody's watching to see how he's going to continue to handle that. And obviously a lot of attention on Nico Iamaleava at quarterback too. But interesting spring for all those transfer additions. Guys like Dante Thornton the former Oregon wide receiver. He's looked the part athletically. You can see why Gabe Judy-Lally at cornerback was a guy they wanted to add, a real savvy veteran that could help them in the secondary, where they just weren't really good in the secondary last year, one of the worst pass defenses in the country. And certainly they've got some talented freshmen, not just Nico. Arion Carter that Tennessee beat out Alabama for at linebacker has really caught some people's attention. Caleb Herring, one of the in-state stars of their class, off to a really good start at defensive end. So it's just it's a much more competitive-looking roster. It's certainly not. They haven't chased down the Georgias and Alabamas of the world in terms of overall talent, but you can see the first signs that they're really on the right track in terms of building a good roster. That, even though they were good last year on the field, they just weren't there talent-wise. Now they're starting to make some strides toward getting where they want to be.
Great stuff from Ryan Callahan, Go Vols 24/7. We appreciate the update, spring football-wise, and of course, with the Pro Day, and it sounds like it was a strong one for Tennessee, and the recruiting update. Let everybody know how to follow your work.
Yeah, GoVols247.com. It's going to be another busy weekend for Tennessee with lots of visitors in for their scrimmage tomorrow. Obviously, a scrimmage to try to track down whatever we can find out from a closed scrimmage. That's always fun to talk to who we can get in touch with afterward and see how things went. So we'll have reports on that coming out tomorrow. And obviously, baseball, Tennessee with a big series this weekend against LSU down in Baton Rouge. So a lot happening on that front, and the basketball news that you alluded to as well. So lots to keep up with, and we got it all covered for you at GoVols247.com. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Ryan Callahan 247.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. Your phone lines are open next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a couple of wrecks showing now. The 2000 block of Blake Bottom, that's east of Jeff Road. Looks like that one was reported with injuries. They put Himsey on it. Now they've canceled them. And we got one working at Old Railroad Bed and Tony Road. That one did have an injury involved. Popeye's Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 of the crispy Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp. With a signature side and a buttermilk biscuit, it's only $6. Popeye's University and Jordan, 72 and Jeff, and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
2 Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. 2 Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at 2maidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. 2 Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortandSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Walt Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And I always love to see who throws out the first pitches for baseball games.
Yeah.
And Megan Thee Stallion.
We had this discussion last night. We wondered if that was Bad Bunny's sister.
Opening day lineups and their entire
I don't know who that is.
I have no idea. We looked it up. She's supposedly some rapper. That's why, remember, Steve met Bad Bunny. We didn't know who the hell Bad Bunny was. I thought, well, maybe that's, I don't know.
Megan Thee Stallion is being told the pitch clock, which is something that we're
Megan
going
Thee
to see
Stallion.
this year, is
Right,
now
who?
running. She was
Jackson Love didn't even know who she was.
just
He
a
said
few
she's
minutes
allegedly a rapper. I don't know. I had no idea who she was. We're like, who is Megan Thee Stallion?
Megan Thee Stallion. I just saw it on.
Yeah, but I will say this.
She's got songs such as, well.
How long until you find one you can say on the radio?
No, I mean,
Sweetest Pie.
Oh Lord,
Savage.
That's probably,
I guess,
that's apropos from what Brandon tagged us in a few minutes ago.
I have no idea who this lady is. I don't know. I don't even want to play any of it because I don't even think we can play.
Well, I mean, no, but we were where Jackson did educate me though is about 10 years ago, 50 Cent threw out the first pitch at a Mets game, and it was worse than hers. Hers was not bad considering what 50 Cent did. 50 Cent has not played an ounce of baseball because we Googled that. That was unbelievably bad.
Yeah, we've seen some really bad.
I've seen some bad first pitches, but 50 Cent is right up there.
Anyway,
I forgot about it.
That was in Houston. It was the Houston Astros home opener, the defending World Series champions, coming up tomorrow in Houston. See, I tied it all in. There was a reason why we went there, because tomorrow in Houston we get the Final Four. Now, think about this. We talked a lot, and Johnny on his cell talked about the fact that once they expand the college football playoffs,
right,
that it's going to be an SEC Invitational. I mean, these cute stories of these group of 5 teams that may pull off an upset in football, but it won't happen in basketball. Think about this, though. Do you know the last non-Power 5 conference team to win a national title in basketball?
Non-Power 5?
Non-Power 5 team to win a national title in basketball. We talk a lot about the upsets.
Well, I mean, Villanova wasn't considered one. I mean,
they were in the Big East, though. That's a Power 5.
Well, sort of. I mean, remember, it's a reconstituted Big East.
Right, but they were in the Big East.
Yeah, because when you think about the Power 5 in athletics,
non-power conference,
you're looking at the SEC, you're looking at the Big 10, you're looking at the Big 12, you're looking at the Pac-12.
Yeah, I should say not Power 5. I should say the non-power conference.
Right.
UNLV in 1990.
Yeah, by 30, and they were never in a power conference, though.
Right.
With what Tark was doing, but Tark won it once. Yeah.
So we talk a lot about the upsets, and
Butler came close a couple times.
Right, they came close, but they didn't win it. So we talk a lot about the upsets.
Yeah.
In the NCAA tournament. We talk about everything else, but when it all comes down to it, your power conferences are still winning the national championships in college basketball. And come tomorrow, UConn will have a chance to take a step forward, I should say, to get into the national title game. They're 15-1 odds. That's tied for the 8th shortest odds with Gonzaga entering the tournament. It would be the first time since Villanova in 2016 to win an NCAA tournament with double-digit odds. It has steamrolled through the tournament. Average margin of victory for UConn has been 17.5 points per game.
Yeah, they've been very impressive.
The second highest mark of any team since the field expanded to 64 in 1985.
And now they'll probably lose to Miami. Just the way the tournament's going, and it'll be Miami and FAU in a backyard brawl for the national championship. That somebody probably just put in, that they picked that didn't even know anything about the tournament, and they just probably live in the area, and if they put $5 on it, they'll probably have $1 million.
Well, yeah, because Florida Atlantic was a 300-1 odds to win the NCAA tournament, the largest pre-tournament odds by any champion seeding since the 1979.
Well, it's big and official. It's gone across the wires. And Pell City has done it. They have hired Rush Probst officially.
All right. Okay, let me ask this question. Do people really care if he's coaching still?
You
know what I mean? I'm not meaning that in a bad way. I'm just meaning that he's so polarizing. But is it at this point, is it just, I don't care if Rush Probst is coaching.
Well, he's going to get you headlines either positively or negatively.
Yeah, I mean, I care because I want to see, because of the lightning rod that he is. But, gosh, do people really care if Rush Probst is coaching this day and time anymore? I just don't know. What does he hold much?
Well, yeah, he's a hell of a coach. His record speaks for itself. But the problem is, TMZ and all the other, the investigations and just the off the field stuff, man. It's just all the periphery things that happen, and it's usually a spotlight that's not a good one. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't end well. It ends up, in rubble. Pretty much.
It does.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he has left. That's the thing. I just don't know what he has left in the tank as far as coaching
years ago,
goes.
He won a championship at Colquitt County. He can definitely still coach. The age is out the window. I think he's kept himself close to the game in high school because he spent 2 years watching his son play for the great Steve Smith at Piedmont, who's now retired from the public school system and gone over to Westbrook Christian. But he still stayed close to the game. It's one of those. It's just like an addiction from the standpoint you want to be in it.
Right.
It's hard to be out of it. And he's had great success in 2 states, and now he's back in Alabama. This is the first time he'll be a head coach in Alabama since 2007 when he left Hoover, and we all know what happened there.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Because he's tried to be. Remember, he was in Montgomery or Prattville for some startup academy or something.
Yeah, that didn't last long. And, there was
never coached a game though.
No, never coached, and he went to Valdosta.
Yeah.
For a year, and then that ended up with another TV show, and that ended up being a disaster. So he left. I think they went 6-5 or something like that.
Okay.
But he spent I think 11 years at Colquitt County, won a couple of titles. He's he's won over 200 football games. So he's a guy that's every stop he's made, he's won. And so Pell City has not been good for over a decade, and they've got a lot of support over there, and they're going to go ahead and roll the dice and see if they can come up snake eyes.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, Ryan Fowler will chime in, some Alabama football conversation, and just some all-around updates. Ryan Fowler next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. We might get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. At the same time, I also think we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the course of the afternoon. There is going to be a better opportunity for severe weather as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. All modes of severe weather are going to be possible during that time frame. Looks like our biggest concern going to be a damaging wind threat and a tornado threat across the Tennessee Valley. Very similar to last Friday and early Saturday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a couple of wrecks showing now. The 2000 block of Blake Bottom, that's east of Jeff Road. Looks like that one was reported with injuries. They put Himsey on it. Now they've canceled them. And we got one working at Old Railroad Bed and Tony Road. That one did have an injury involved. Popeye's Shrimp Tackle Box has 8 of the crispy Louisiana seasoned butterfly shrimp. With a signature side and a buttermilk biscuit, it's only $6. Popeye's University and Jordan, 72 and Jeff, and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
The calendar does read March, and that means it's time for you to enjoy some Talon Heating and Air St. Patty's Day specials. And if the utility companies have been taking all the green out of your wallet, Talon Heating and Air, Thomas, has the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow to help you put it back in.
That's right. We have a special right now for all the listeners of this commercial. Get $1,000 off, in addition to excellent savings with the Bosch equipment.
It's Talon Heating and Air St. Patty's Day special, and tell them how they can ring you guys up.
That's right. They can give us a call at 256-503-4490 or at talenthvac.com.
Talon Heating and Air will have you seeing more green this March. And if you're feeling really lucky this March, make sure you join our 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bracket Challenge presented by Talon Heating and Air. Maybe they'll have you seeing more green.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, what a Friday it has been. I mean, we've covered everything, and I mean literally everything in an hour and a half. We've talked Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. We've talked spring football, Alabama, threw in some Tennessee conversation there, some Auburn conversation. We've talked Cokes. Dr. Pepper, strawberries,
brutality of Mountain Dew, pitch black.
Yeah, we've talked everything. I mean, I think we've covered everything.
Y'all been trying to get me to try what? Strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper?
Strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. That's how the conversation all started.
Yeah.
Sugar-free, though. Notice I did say sugar-free for you.
Yeah, and then notice I'm watching Anthony Richardson and in his pro day. I've never seen this. And Fowler was at the Alabama pro day. We can ask him that. But has he ever seen a quarterback hit the roof of the practice facility?
Yeah. Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, your pick.
Ain't neither one of them worth 10 cents.
Let's go out to the phone lines.
Like Dennis Dodd. We're going to talk to the host of the game, a North Alabama native from 2 to 6, the longest-running radio program in the City of Champions, and it is Ryan Fowler, and he's been good enough to join us this morning. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, you know, something else you guys need to talk about, the Huntsville Havoc. it's got that big championship reunion this weekend. So
yes, they do. And retiring Nolan Kaiser's jersey. That is headlining, I believe, tonight's game. Headlining and retiring Nolan Kaiser's jersey. So it's a big weekend for the Huntsville Havoc all around.
I butchered it yesterday. Cy Nukovic is getting his. I think they're doing something for him, right?
No, it's Nolan Kaiser.
Okay. I know, but I think Cy Nukovic's like they were. Steve said they were. I think he's part of the reunion or whatever they were talking about.
Oh yeah, the championship reunion.
Yeah. That's what they were talking about.
Yes, because he was part of the back-to-back title.
Exactly. He was a big part of that. Yeah. And I screwed it up and called him Cy Sigurd Munson. So okay. From UAH basketball.
Oh my goodness.
So, when you talk about hitting the roof, now I did see Bryce Young hit the roof.
Did he really?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Okay. So maybe it's not uncommon.
Well, and I don't know how Florida is shaped, but I know Alabama, people, now the facility has continued to upgrade, and remember there used to be a tennis court on the back of the indoor practice facility. If you look out back toward Coleman, that used to be half of it was indoor tennis facility. And so now it's completely all football, about 20 years ago, I guess. But, if you look at Alabama, they were so far ahead of their indoor practice facility. They built that in the late 80s, early
Coach
90s.
Perkins, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it may have been before that.
Yeah, I think Coach Perkins got it built.
So, and then when you think about it, because Florida just got theirs. Georgia has just got theirs. So, when you think about indoor practice facilities. But I did see Bryce hit it a couple of times last week. But Alabama is, like I said, it's a little bit different. It's a little lower. I'd be shocked if, he didn't hit it. But some of those, those long throws kind of hurt you a little bit.
Well, you were there. How did you talk to some folks? How did Pro Day seem to go for Bryce and for Alabama overall?
Well, I just thought Bryce, he did Bryce-like things. I mean, it's, like everybody wanted to see him throw, and I guess from a health standpoint, you see, well, looks, back to where it's back to par. But Bryce Young is Bryce Young. I mean, it's just he throws the way that he anticipates where wide receivers are going to be. He throws them open, and just watching him maneuver, is you never take for granted, right? I mean, you get a chance to see a legacy player. As I'm sitting there watching Pro Day and I'm watching, all these different players go out, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what a poor, pitiful job that coaching staff did last year to not being able to get this team to win a national title. I think it's something that's going to burn Alabama fans for a long time. When you look at the studs that will be leaving, if you want to talk about Brian Branch and Jordan Battle, you look at Will Anderson.
Yeah.
Just the amount of pro dudes, and then this year's class that will be added to that was part of last year's team. It's going to be the championship that got away. It is going to be the championship that got away with Bryce Young as your starting quarterback for 2 years and couldn't get the job done.
I still think the defense was the most disappointing part, honestly, Ryan.
It was. No, I mean, listen, you had 13 guys at the NFL Combine, which was the most of any school, and I think 8 or 9 of those were from the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt.
A lot of talent, and, even role players. DJ Dale, Byron Young. I mean, guys, Emil Ekior was out at Pro Day. I mean, you just go through and you're sitting there going, man, it's the one that got away. And so now, to me, with not doing it last year, and I think Nick Saban, yesterday we featured Heather Dinage. I know she was on with Stephen West also this week. When you listen to what Nick Saban told her about going full metal jacket, man, I mean, we hope, because you got to be able to clean it up because you don't have that roster. So you're going to have to overcoach these guys. You have a lot of young talent. I'm not saying this team is not going to be talented at the end of the day, but you're going to have to overcome some of those mistakes and coach these guys up. And, we'll see if they're able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at this spring, offensively. In the past, last 3-4 years, it's been, we know what we're going to get. We know the quarterback. We know pretty much everything we're going to get.
Since 2016 when Jalen Hurts came on the scene, and even then too.
There's not been any surprises
position,
in spring football. We still don't know what we're going to get because they're not going to show a ton, but it does give a little bit of intrigue on the offensive side for spring.
The only small surprise we had at quarterback was how good Mac Jones ended up being.
Right,
and holding off Bryce Young, but I think everybody felt great about Bryce.
But this one here is there's intrigue, but we're still not going to see anything.
No, but see, here's the thing that I think is a little bit different, Scott. When you look at now, because of the transfer portal, because of the immediate eligibility where they don't have to wait a year, I don't think Nick Saban can take his time with this. Like, I'm not saying he should declare one next week, but I think these guys, it's fair to them to know where they're at, coming out of spring. Is that a fair statement? I mean, I think they will. I think we'll have some kind of indication, and it may not be public, but let's say that one guy is clearly ahead. And I don't know this, but I'm just saying, what if one guy's clearly ahead of the other? Does the other guy transfer?
I think so.
I would agree too. So going back, I just feel like that, this is a different era in college football. And I don't know if Nick Saban can get it to August as he has done some of these previous quarterback competitions, in the tenure in Tuscaloosa.
Well, that's going to be the interesting part. If Nick Saban, with his NIL now and the transfer portal and the rosters, being as fluid as they are, if he can solve this riddle and come back and reclimb the mountain and pass Kirby Smart again, I think he's going to cement himself easily. He's already there probably, but he will easily be the greatest of all time if he can do this to end his career.
Well, I know he loves a challenge.
He does.
But, I think it's probably the same way it burns us is the same way it burns him. It takes a lot to build a championship caliber team. I mean, you got to put a lot of effort into it. And I think, yes, last year, you had the injury that you had to deal with Bryce, and maybe if that injury's not there, then maybe you shut the door on Tennessee before they believe that they can actually beat you. But I'm sure he looks about it, too. And you almost wonder if he's going to go back to a physical approach. We hear
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I mean, but you look back at that. I found a clip, and let me see if I can find it real quick. But he said something. He repeats a lot of the same stuff. If you ever notice, he'll say, never waste a failure. Things like that. But during his, let's see if I got this, what date it was. But during his post-practice press conference Wednesday, Nick Saban revealed that the team was a little bit of work before the opener during Thursday's practice before transitioning into Full Metal Jacket on Friday. The team also practiced Saturday before heading into game week. So that was just something that, he's used this Full Metal Jacket before. He used it last year. So does Full Metal Jacket have a different meaning now? I hope it does. Hope it don't have the same mentality. But he also admitted to Heather, we interviewed her yesterday, when she said what set that up is she told him, she said, when I look back at Alabama, it did not look like an Alabama team that, looked like a Nick Saban coached Alabama team. There was, how many times did this team go out there with, more than enough guys that, 12 guys out there on the 11, and I even see them play, with 10. I mean, they actually played with 10 players, multiple plays. Pro Football Focus was able to, break down the film, interview the guy that said that they're actually out there playing with 10 guys multiple times. So it's hard to beat a team with 11 when you're playing with 10. But the penalties, the things that she talked about, and that's his response was, we're going Full Metal Jacket, and to try to clean some of this up. And he agreed that what she said, it did not. And then you're like, well, why didn't it? I mean, the only thing that I can put it back in is coaching. It had to be. It had to be on the coaching side of things. It's not on the talent. We're going to see that when we get to Kansas City later next month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will with the draft. But, Ryan, before we let you go, I know you were having a ton of enthusiasm by your callers and everybody with the predictions in the basketball. Brandon Miller decides to go pro. No shock yesterday. He will be a top 3, top 5 pick. How has the reaction been to the disappointment of Alabama not going to Houston this weekend?
Well, we spent Monday and part of Tuesday on it, so we took about 6 hours worth of calls. A lot of disappointment, but I think here's the thing, though, and what we talked about. Yes, we're disappointed in the game, but not in the season. When you think about Nate Oates, listen, I was as critical as Anthony Grant. You and I, we kind of led that charge a little bit. He had no personality. But you go back to 2006 onward, and you look at Oates took over this program. They had been to the tournament twice, I think, 14, 15 years prior.
That's right.
He comes in 4 years, 3 times to the tournament, 2 Sweet 16, 4 SEC championships. The future is so bright, you got to wear those cataract sunglasses.
Yeah, that's what Dennis Dodd needs, cataract sunglasses.
What are y'all so mad about Dennis for? Y'all
I don't know. We just added him to the list of guys that'll never be on this show. We've got a list, and I didn't create it, but we've got a list of guys that'll never be on the show.
Who's number one?
That's Dan Woken.
Oh, yeah.
That's Dan Woken.
What you need to do is here's what you need to do. Drew, when's your birthday?
April the 11th. It's right around the corner. I'll be Hayden Neighbors.
So,
if
right,
you want to look up his number.
Okay. What you need to do April the 11th, you need to schedule all these guys to be on with Drew for his birthday. Like it's a birthday. I mean, get them all. Like Pat 40, get.
I've actually had that turd on the show one time.
Yeah. Get him. Maybe we can get Dirt Neck to come in and wish him a happy birthday.
He cut me off.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys.
Joseph. Well, I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
Drift away. Yeah.
Joseph Liberal came on the show too a couple of times.
Right.
Lord.
All right.
You guys, man. You guys keep building that list, man.
Yeah.
Keep building that list.
We've got it.
Well, trust me, you're not on the list, Ryan. We love having you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Roll Tide from Tuscaloosa. Appreciate you guys. You guys have an awesome week. Appreciate the guys. I might make it up to Huntsville this weekend. I'm thinking about coming up for can I sit in y'all's club seats if I come up to the Huntsville Havoc game?
You can sit in Drew's VIP seat.
Yeah, Moulton will hook you up. He's the hockey guy.
Hey, I love hockey, man. You guys have a great week, man. Thank you.
Let's get a final break in. Tomorrow's headlines today when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Newest wreck's coming out of Decatur now, Beltline and Modus Road. That one's coming in as a no injury. We had Blake Bottom east of Jeff that turned out to be a no injury, an old railroad bed at Tony that did have an injury involved. No hose, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Now's the time to order your spiral cut honey glazed ham or turkey for Easter from Apple Lane in Decatur. Or maybe consider ordering the family meal deal for Easter. That includes an Apple Lane ham, a dozen rolls, sweet potato dumplings, potato salad, and Apple Lane's award-winning banana pudding. This week you can get your Apple Lane Easter goodness for half price with our zone deal. $50 worth for just $25. Get your zone deal now at 977ESPN.com. Apple Lane on the Beltline in Decatur. You may only use one coupon per purchase. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. Find your rhythm and feed your rhythm at Rhythm on Monroe in downtown Huntsville. Located inside the BBC, Rhythm features crafted cocktails, local and seasonal beers, specialty wines, and seasonal cuisine, like the fresh-baked crab dip with kettle chips, fresh spiral lasagna with basil marinara, Black Angus char-grilled filet with truffle butter, or one of Chef Becky Vibbard's seasonal desserts like the warm peach cobbler with vanilla bean ice cream. Serving dinner daily or weekend brunch. View the menu and make reservations at rhythmonmonroe.com.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you for another 3 minutes. Zach Edey.
Player of the year.
Yeah, your AP Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean.
No shock there.
No shock at all. And no shock that Brandon Miller declared for the NBA draft, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. We talked about it a little bit in the first hour. Now the clock is on Noah Clowney. Is he going to go ahead and declare for Alabama? We'll see. That will continue to shape the Crimson Tide roster. So, and then we did a little bit mention it with Ryan Callahan, Olivier Comwa, who was a big part of Tennessee this year, about 10 points, 5 rebounds. He enters the transfer portal after graduating, so he's not coming back to Rick Barnes' squad. So the transfer portal you talked about has continues to grow, thousands in it every day.
Just in Division I.
Yeah, so it's crazy, and the NBA draft, there's going to be guys continue to declare for that, and we're going to continue to monitor it. And Amari Burnett, you mentioned that, from Alabama. He enters the transfer portal and is going to graduate this summer, going to play for Juwan Howard in Michigan.
And you brought Michigan, Chance Westery from Auburn.
Is he headed there too?
Well, he said Michigan has reached out to him as well. So
he and Johan Traore, both of them have left Auburn.
So Michigan being very active, Juwan Howard being very active.
And then congrats to North Texas and Grant McCasland. They win the NIT. I think you mentioned that in hour one.
They did, and that still keeps Conference USA alive.
They can win the Triple Crown. They've won. Charlotte won the CBI. North Texas won the NIT, and now that would be the greatest run for a conference, I guess, in a season. If Florida Atlantic and Dusty May can win the title, and Dusty May agreeing to a new contract and a lot of facility upgrades, so looks like he'll be back at FAU in Boca Raton next year.
Marcus Sasser headed to the NBA.
No surprise.
Yeah. Let's see here. Just about time. Don't forget. Zone deal right now, Scooter's Coffee. You can get 5 $10 vouchers for just $25. So that's $50 worth of coffee to Scooter's Coffee. There you go. You have had coffee one time.
Yeah, and it didn't go well. That's almost a year ago, and we had the seizure, so we're not messing with the coffee. Day after.
You don't want strawberries and cream, Dr. I'll bring you one of those. I will find one and I'll bring you one.
I could try it. It's been
a
hit,
gas station down the road.
It's been a hit, though, and that's the only reason why I bring it up is because it's been hard to find.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I bring that up. All right, that's going to do it for our 2 hours. I am headed to Louisville for the world's biggest truck show. Seriously, world's biggest truck show in Louisville this weekend. I'm headed there. So it's going to be an interesting time. Catfish out of water, or a fish out of water.
Can't wait for the food report Monday.
Hey, I am going to a Brazilian steakhouse tomorrow for dinner.
That's all you can eat a lot of times at those joints.
Dirty exterior? Don't